Hello, my name is María José Medina, and this is my final evidence for fundamentals in biological systems. It is a presentation on the formatted version of my other evidence, an infographic about against dysbiosis. So, before getting into what dysbiosis is, why is microbiota so important? So, your gut plays an important role in how you live. It is even called the second brain, being responsible for nutrient absorption, immunity, and even your mental health. After all, it all comes down to habits and how to determine the many microorganisms that live in the human digestive tract. Sometimes, if you encourage the growth of some, you're going to suffer the consequences later, or if you encourage the growth of others, you're going to reap the benefits. Disruption or imbalances of this microbial community is what causes dysbiosis, the title of the presentation, and is linked to numerous health problems, including inflammatory bowel disease, obesity, diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and mental health disorders. So it is worth taking a look. After all, it has to be diverse and prospering to be functional. So the first factor examined in the simulation is sleep. And the conclusion is sleep, please. How much time you sleep is associated to the health of your microbiota beyond the simple feeling of exhaustion. Actually, sleeping less than 7 hours is linked to with reduced gut bacterial diversity and increased abundance of certain bacteria involved in butyrate synthesis via the lysine pathway, which may relate to inflammation and metabolic issues. That's why many people that complain that they didn't sleep enough also complain that they feel bloated or uncomfortable. The recommended sleep time is between 7 and 9 hours for a balanced microbiota with optimal diversity. Here there is a graph that explains some of the bacteria that grow in normal sleepers, short sleepers, and long sleepers. And not always long sleepers have the most diverse um, microbiota, but normal sleepers generally do tend to have a bit of everything. Another factor taken into consideration is stress. So relax, take it easy. That's the overall conclusion. But when you put yourself in stressful situations, you are prone to make overproducing cortisol. And cortisol is a hormone that can lead to chronic psychological stress and can become overproduced if you continue to put yourself in these situations. So this can lead to depletion of beneficial bacteria such as bifidobacterium and lactobacillus, increased gut permeability, which makes your gut prone to inflammatory become inflamed, pathogenic bacteria like Fusobacterium and Escherichia for bits of undigested food to remain there and toxins to be absorbed more easily. So take it easy, stress can literally turn your blood toxic as it is connected to your microbiota, which is what digests your food and travels nutrients all around your body. You know how they're saying that when you're pregnant, you're eating for two? In reality, every day without being pregnant, we're eating for almost 30 trillion bacteria in our gut. And our diet influences how these bacteria grow and how certain species proliferate more than others. In a diet that's high in fat, eating a lot of saturated fats, like, say, butter, can increase harmful bacteria like Alistipes, Parabacteroides, Fusobacterium, Tizarella, and Escherichia in your gut, and at the same time, it lowers good bacteria that can make healthy substances called short chain fatty acids, such as Roseburia and Neubacterium. These changes can cause inflammation in the body and increase the risk of obesity and related health problems. Also, there is a high carb diet, but not necessarily the carbohydrates that you associate with, say, bread or other types of starch. High carb in the sense of prebiotic fiber, like eating plenty of whole grains, fruits, vegetables, and beans, help good bacteria like Bifidobacterium, Lactobacillus, Roseburia, Fecalibacterium grow. These bacteria produce short chain fatty acids, which is what I said is beneficial for your gut, like butyrate, which protect the gut lining and reduce inflammation, keeping your gut healthy. Also, talking about these fibers, certain fibers called galactoligosaccharides or GOS and fructoligosaccharides act like food for good bacteria. That's why they're called prebiotics. They are the food of probiotics, the microbes in your gut, helping them grow and improving your gut health and immune system. So remember, you can grow bacteria you've helped feed, and they determine your well-being. So determining on the diet you have is the type of bacteria that's gonna grow. Also, now going into a hard carb diet, but made up of simple sugars. Eating a lot of simple sugars like candy and soda can encourage harmful bacteria from groups called Proteobacteria and Firmicutes to grow. This can upset the balance in your gut bacteria and cause inflammation. Another part of this investigation, done with cited sources, is to encourage digital culture, or as I like to call it, actually looking up what you see online. So, investigating things for yourself is a powerful way to reduce misinformation because it encourages critical thinking and verification of information sources. Instead of accepting information as face value, people who investigate independently ask key questions such as: who is the original source? What is the background or motivation behind the information? Are the sources credible and properly cited? So, this approach helps people avoid spreading unverified claims often found on social media and other informational channels. For example, verifying information by checking an original post or reputable news outlets and reading beyond headlines can prevent falling for misleading or emotionally charged misinformation designed to provoke fear or outrage. Take an example: any video promoting a new fad diet. This diet that can often be dangerous and not recommended by specialists, but when seen through the lens of someone that's calling it a life jacket or something you should do for yourself, many people are influenced to follow it. Promoting a healthy digital culture complements this by fostering environments where digital literacy and responsible information are shared and valued. Digital culture promotion involves encouraging transparency, empowerment, and collaboration in digital communication. Leaders and educators can model openness, empathy, and honesty to create trust and set standards for digital interactions. In an educational context, integrating digital literacy into curriculum helps students develop skills to critically evaluate information online, understand digital citizenship, and responsibly create and share digital information. It's not only knowing what you publish, but also knowing what you read. So strategies include teaching students to assess reliability of sources, using digital tools, and engage in project-based learning, which is something here in Tecno Monterrey we already do, that applies digital skills to real-world problems. It encourages peer feedback, so you can say your opinion is like, hey, I like this post, I didn't like this post, I think you should include this source, I think you should cite this other source. Ambassador networks and behavioral changes can also embed positive digital habits and mindsets. So, together, investigating information independently and promoting digital culture creates a foundation for reducing misinformation and empowering individuals to be discerning consumers and creators of digital content. So, not just lambs to the slaughter, but actually people that think for themselves. And that will be all. Thank you very much.